right, we are back with another album review. This morning I hit two albums while I was at the gym. The first one of these was The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I had never listened to this album, actually didn't know really much about this album at all, other than it's often ranked as something that's it's referenced a lot and is really a top album to check out. So I was excited to check it out. The headline for me was, yeah, obviously this is a very strong album. I think I'd score it, around a 4.5, maybe slightly lower. The headline is really around the range that Lauryn Hill shows throughout this, the quality of lyrics, and for me, the overall album experience was really strong, and bringing a flow and a consistent narrative throughout is something I've continued to hit on throughout these reviews and something that I'm valuing pretty highly on this. So the extra effort that's taken with this to have the skits, particularly with the teacher and the students talking about love throughout the album, really resonated with me, and I thought brought this together and gave this a lot more of a natural flow, which was really cool. Unfortunately, it was definitely slower than I anticipated. One of my criteria for all of these was to do something that was a little bit faster if I was working out. So from that perspective, it didn't hit as much for me, but I'm not going to knock her too much for that. Anyway, in terms of tracks, before listening to this, the only song I was really familiar with was that thing. I think it's called "Doo Wop," that thing. Afterwards, I was like, my favorite aspect of the album, like I mentioned just now, is this teacher-student ongoing skit that you hear throughout of this, because I really do think it ties everything together. If I'm having to pick a single track, it's maybe Lost Ones. I think it starts the album off really strong. You see her strength both rapping and singing, and that's something that obviously just kind of plays throughout for this. So that then brings me to this next point: music, production, range. A lot of these get linked together. I think what stands out about this is the fact that she's so skilled rapping and so skilled singing that she can move between the two seamlessly and with a high degree of competence, which was really cool. From a pure music perspective, you've got R&B, reggae, you've got funk in there, you've got rap, so it just hits so many different things that all seem to work and seem supernatural, and that was really cool to me, and definitely resonated, because I thought it all seemed natural and seemed like logical variations on what she was trying to do with the album. So big ups on that side of things. Lyrically, I thought this was pretty strong throughout, talking about a lot of themes, love, relationships people can relate to. I thought she did a pretty good job of that. She doesn't stray too far from what she's trying to do, and kind of tries to keep delivering, I would say, somewhat related messages throughout this. And the consistency, I think, really does help the album, because we're not bouncing from just a random pop song to something else that's really deep. It gets kind of that consistent theme throughout, which is cool. Talks on the overall album experience. I think that they knock it out of the park on this one. And then from a timelessness perspective, listening to this now, it absolutely still fit 20 plus years later. I can see this still being relevant 20 plus years after this as well. After doing a lot of research, doing a little bit of research, definitely not a lot, about this album and about Lauryn Hill, was cool to see, just what she was coming off of and dealing with, pregnancy, dealing with, challenges in a relationship that inspired her to make this. And it's still her only her only solo album that she has out there. But really cool overall, definitely enjoyed it. Not what I was expecting, but a plus nonetheless.